about 7 in the morning. Last night was a total nightmare. We showed up in the pitch black to a swim that wasn't even open. It was impossible to fish it, and within an hour of being here, it just started to piss rain. So finally, this morning, got my first decent run. I'm fishing a major shelf. Big time issues getting this fish in. And there it is right there. Took this fish to a juicy tutti fruity pop-up. Bed of boilies around. Getting a few liners. Hopefully we'll get some more fish and get this one home. Tough fishing conditions on a major shelf, really rocky. What can you do? Alright, so as I was telling you in the last clip, I just had my first fish out, and the fishing conditions here are brutal to say the least. I'm fishing a massive shelf. It goes for at least 60, 80 yards. So the only thing I could do was to take my rod pod, put it out in the water, take my storm poles off my brawly, get it up as high as I could, see if I can beat the shelf. I'm going to have to fish with my drag locked up a little bit, so that way I have more time to get to the rod and lift up, see if I can get the fish to the surface. I'll show you here what I'm dealing with. Right. So this path was just completely overgrown. I had to cut all the limbs down, and then I had pure weeds. And I had to get all these weeds out of the swim. Right. So here's my pod. Got my storm poles on his legs, but at least the tips are nice and high now. I couldn't actually get it as high as I wanted to, so I put this little extension in there. It's kind of a Jimmy rig way of doing it, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Got my spod station set up, nice and out of the way, so if I get a fish here I can get a net on it, and then when it comes time to get some more bait out, got more bait. I have yet to even put out any spods. Like I said, I came here last night, pitch black, couldn't see a thing, trying to set up a new tent, can't read the instructions, sweat pouring in my eyes, is burning. But we got the tent sorted out, and within a matter of minutes it just pissed, and it pissed for hours. So I didn't even get to fish last night. But as you can see now, calm, overcast, water's decent temperature. I can stand in it without getting freezing. And I've had a couple runs. I lost a fish early this morning, once again to the shelf. And then this last fish, well, the fish that I have caught so far, I literally had to walk out to water up to my waist just to try and get it, and I could feel my leader just grinding. Thank God I'm using a heavy rope, a good 6 or 8 foot segment of just, it's like shoestring. But thankfully the muscles that are under the rocks can't snap it, so you can reef on it pretty good and try and drag the fish around the rock. But we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna get some spawns out, load this place up with bait, and then sit back and wait. I'm sure a shoal will move in and start feeding up. Look at that oily slick. Tiger nut oil. Got a slick going. All right, let's take a look at this 10 I got at Walmart for 34 bucks. Look at the size of this thing. 11 by 9, 8 feet tall. Massive. 34 bucks. Pays to be a Walmartian. Very nice.
Are you filming?
Yeah. It's fine.
Are you going to take my voice out?
Yeah. Here it goes.
It's like the dreads worshiping Jah. So aloha,
all the firewood I cut down. There was a tree, a dead tree. I found it in the bushes. I cut it down.
What?
show you. Boom! Well, it's day 3, and fishing has been lacking at best. We had next to no sites to choose from, and I picked a site that I thought would be the best option out of the options that I did have, which were very few. And little did I know that I picked a spot that was 3 feet deep max for hundreds and hundreds of yards. Right along that line, you can see the geese. There's a weed bed there, and there's also a weed bed right in front of me. I've been putting out my baits out in the middle, thinking that I'm in a deeper channel, and I'm not. It's pure weeds everywhere the whole way. Fishing has been brutal. I've lost a bunch of leads, I've lost loads of runs and fish, and there's very few fish. So pounding out bait and loading up an area is pretty much pointless because you're only getting the odd fish that's cruising through. So I've actually resorted to walking my rig out into a pocket of weeds. I'll show you in a second. On this right here, I'm just walking out to like right in here. And right in the middle of the weeds, there's a big opening, like maybe 6 feet around, flat, and no weeds. It's just silt or sand. So I'm walking my rig out and I'm scooping a cup of corn right over my rig, and it's produced the last several fish for us. All small fish, but we're getting them. Desperate times, desperate times call for desperate measures. What can you do? You can see how shallow it is. But yesterday when I woke up, I came to recast a rod, and believe it or not, I saw a fish swimming around this bank stick. So obviously they come in super shallow, and that's where I got the idea to put a rig right in the weeds. I'll show you how I'm doing this.